Welcome one and all to the 2019 Formula 2 World Championship. A new season and a new lineup of drivers hungry to make their mark on the world of motorsport. Some new names and some returning favourites, all here to stake a claim on the championship title. Joining me for the race today, I'm delighted to welcome back to the commentary box the 2012 GP2 champion, Davide Valsecchi. Davide, it's great to have you with us for today's race. Any tips for our drivers out on the track today?
It's a real pleasure to be here, Alex. We are in for a spectacular day in Formula 2. My advice is to stay calm, look after the car, look after the tires, but don't be afraid to push when you see an opportunity. Using the DRS on some of those long straights will be crucial for the driver looking to make a challenge.
Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 2 of the FIA Formula 2 2019 MICK Schumacher career mode, where today we're here for the Bahrain Grand Prix sprint race. 12 laps ahead of us around this Capure circuit. I hope you guys are hyped for this one. Obviously, if you missed out on the feature race that went live yesterday, I would highly recommend going back and checking that out before we jump into the second race of the weekend. But yeah, very excited to be back ready for the second round of the World Championship. Obviously, no pit stops this time around, just 12 laps of action-packed racing. And yeah, hopefully you guys are as hyped for this one as I am here. We start in P4 for the second race of the weekend there. We've got Jack Aitken on the pole ahead of Anton Hubert, with Zoo just in front of us there in P3. We start 4th on the grid, like I said, and potentially a podium I definitely feel is on the cards today, but we need to really get down to a good start this time around here for the second round of the World Championship. I'm so excited. I just want to jump straight into this. Let's dive it in. The Bahrain Grand Prix feature race, sprint race even, sorry, I should say, is about to start. The 5 lights are on now, and it is 5 lights, and away we get going there. A pretty decent getaway this time around. There are a lot of wheel spin on the second phase there, but much better than we got first time around this weekend. And a little bit of contact before we've even made it to T1. We'll have a look down the inside of a couple of cars there, and I think we have made that work. We've got the TV around the outside there, but we do make it work, and we're going to up into P3 of this Grand Prix there. Zoo has been dropped back there. He got lunged into T1 by both myself and Latifi there. I think that's Jack Aitken locking up as we head up towards the top of the hill here. We've actually still got Latifi trying to fight his way through. At the moment, they're parking on the apex, so we're going to try and look back around the outside there. And yeah, back up now into P3 of this race there. A decent start that time around, not quite, you know, the start we had last time was certainly had a lot left to be desired. So yeah, up into P3 of this race of the start there. We've got Hubert and Aitken just up the road here. We need to try and stick in these guys' slipstream, because Latifi is looking feisty in this one. They're already very happy to try and make moves in the early stages of this Grand Prix there, and he's going to once again try and have a look up the inside, but we're not going to allow him to go for it this time around there, as the back end really trying to squirrel around. Obviously heavy fuel and cold tyres here not helping me out all too much, so we're a bit deep in towards the next couple of corners there. But yeah, we need to stick in the toe of Hubert and Aitken in this Grand Prix here. Obviously not long to really be able to make too many moves in this race. Only 12 laps, but yeah, very excited nonetheless as we try to get the car slowed down nice and tightly through the next couple of corners here. We are obviously the second and third sector. We definitely seem to have a bit of advantage in the second half of the lap there, and yeah, we are still just about within the DRS window of Hubert there. We've got the TV still just behind us, and that car is looking very quick down the straights here, so we need to try and get in the toe of Hubert and Aitken. Oh, a big slide as we head out of the first couple of corners there. We're going to try and play defensive from Latifi there. He actually moves to the inside at the same time we did, and yeah, I'm sure he's not too happy with that one. There are apologies to him just behind us. That wasn't my intent. We were trying to, you know, play defensive there, not block him illegally, but I mean, we've held on for now. Luckily Latifi nice and tidy under braking there, so yeah, we are, ooh lord, still the back end really trying to screw it around at the moment here. We need to try and get back up towards Hubert and Aitken though. Like we saw in yesterday's feature race, you know, the AI, if they get a breakaway at the start, we saw it from Sete camera, they just go. Jack Aitken sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix there. We're not far off, at the moment there. We're 1 second behind Hubert, so we haven't quite got the DRS at the moment. So, I mean, these next couple of laps are going to be absolutely critical if we want to try and get our debut FIA Formula 2 victory in just our very first weekend. What a result that would be at the end of the day there. And already we can see quite a gap forming behind Latifi there. I think that's both of the Virtuosi cars, Virtuosi even I should say, or perhaps it's one of the dams as well. I'm not too sure. It might be, I don't know. In all honesty, it might be. I'm just trying to think. Is it Campos perhaps? Perhaps, yeah. No, Zoo is I think Campos in this one, but I don't know. In all honesty, perhaps Jack Aitken is Campos. I definitely need to revise the Formula 2 driver selection and teams list before the next Grand Prix. But at the moment, we're doing all right. Are we staying close to Hubert? We haven't got the DRS once again there, and now we've got Latifi suddenly all over the back of us once more there. He's definitely got the DRS, so he's going to try and look up the inside. We're going to slam the door shut though. We need to try and work together here if we want to try and close up to Hubert and Aitken, but I'm not sure Latifi's really got the pace to be closing up to them, so I think, to be honest, I want to be a bit selfish here. Try to stay in front. The gap is still, you can see, just 1 second to Hubert up the road here, so we do need to try and, just eke that a little bit more out as we head in towards the final couple of corners. That looks like a sub 1 second window. Yes, it is. We've got the DRS now. Now we can fight in this race. We've got a bit of defence to Latifi as well. And yeah, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. No, Latifi goes 14 thousandths quicker onto lap 4 of this Grand Prix. We've got Aitken and Hubert fighting just up the road. This is looking good for ourselves at the moment. We can definitely try to capitalise on this. You love to see it, the cars battling just in front of you, and just look how much time you already make up in just the space of a couple of corners here. This could be a fight for the win. We need to try and get our head down and really, really focus here. These are the corners where we make up all our time at the moment there, but the dirty air is probably not going to help me all too much. Don't want to click that curb as well if we can avoid it there. And you can see we're 3/10 up at the moment as we head out in towards the final corner of the lap. Surely this is going to be a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We need to try and claim those bonus points early on in this World Championship because, well, points make prizes at the end of the day there. Through the final corner, a little bit of wheel spin, but we are still all over the back of Hubert and Aitken here. Everyone's just going to bunch up as we make the run towards Tab 1 there. We do set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well. There is Hubert going to go for it. No, he brakes actually a bit early, so we're going to have a look up the inside we go. That was, again, not a move that I was planning on making on poor Antoine Hubert there, but we do make the move work, and we're going to up into P2 of this Grand Prix there. Hubert loses a lot of time as we slam the door shut through T2 there, and we are now all over the back of Jack Aitken here, and I must admit that car is definitely my favourite looking one on the grid. Nothing to do with just how orange it is at the moment there, but another 2/10 we found through the first sector here. We are all over the back of Aitken as we head down the hill here. Are we going to be able to make any sort of move work? Potentially in the next DRS zone perhaps. It's not really been one that's strong for me in terms of the traction zone, but certainly going in with an open mind nonetheless. Attack the curbs as much as possible there, and yeah, light at the rears on the way out means we're not quite going to be able to get the run this time around here. We're almost at the halfway stage of this Grand Prix already here. Time certainly does fly when you're having fun, and yeah, still all over the back of Aitken. This is where we're strong. This is where we're going to have a good chance to try and capitalise and really get all over his gearbox as we head in towards the final sector of the lap. Look at that, just how much we've closed up. Now we need to try and get the run as soon as possible here. We've got the run actually as we head out in towards the final corner of the lap here. What is Aitken going to be able to do? We're going to brake a little bit early, try and go for a bit of a switchback. The AI very, very strong on the traction, so we need to try and take everything we possibly can there. Once again, huge snap of oversteer out of the final corner here, but we've got the DRS. Surely there's not going to be much Jack Aitken can do here. We do set another fastest lap of the Grand Prix there, straight up the inside, get back towards the racing line as we head down towards Tab 1 there, and that is us now up into the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix sprint race here. And yeah, now we need to push to try and make a bit of a breakaway here, because Aitken, Hubert, all of those guys are still definitely, they're not done with this battle at GST yet, and surely Mick Schumacher wants to try and finish off the Bahrain Grand Prix weekend on the high of a race victory here. But a long way to go, only halfway through this race. We will wait and see. and instantly it's gone wrong there. A huge, huge moment. I almost forgot about that curb around this track there. No commentary because I was trying to survive, in all honesty, but that was not what we needed in this race there. And as soon as I said Jack Aitken was not going to, you know, leave this opportunity, if there's a chance of a race victory, everyone in Formula 2 is always going to be trying to gun for it there. And yeah, unfortunately for me, Jack Aitken definitely going for it there. We made that mistake, and yeah, it was a completely open door for him as we were on full opposite lock as we head through the heaven there. And honestly, quite surprised it's still pointing in the right direction and we only lost the 1 place. In all honesty, when things go wrong in a Formula 2 car, they tend to go quite wrong at the end of the day there. But still on the back of Aitken. Are we going to be able to do a repeat of what we did last lap? It looks like he's going to try and play it defensive once again through the final corner here. We're going to try and get the power out of the final turn. We got the DRS again. Surely nothing really Aitken's going to be able to do as we make the run down towards turn 1 here. With Lazy defensive, we're going to have a look to the outside this time around there to stick on the racing line. Nice and late on the brakes. In fact, a little bit too late as we head through turn 1 there. And Aitken holds on for now again as we get a horrible run on the exit there. And Aitken's actually got the DRS as well, so that's not worked out for myself. Hubert might be able to have a look up the inside, but we're late on the brakes. Does he keep the nose in? We give him a squeeze, but I think we've both come out of that unscathed in at the end there. That got very, very tight once more, but still, we need to apply the pressure to Jack Aitken. Is it going to be deja vu once again here with Jack Aitken? We're almost 2/3 of the way through this race now, and you can see Aitken still trying to play defensive as much as he possibly can through the final corner. Are we going to be able to get the drive? And are we actually going to be able to make this move work? 3rd time's a charm, surely, in this race there. We're all over the back of him as we head down towards turn 1. Once again, Aitken goes defensive. We're on the outside. We're going to try and brake nice and tightly there. Set it camera. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well, though. We do get the car slowed down, and we are now back up into the lead of this race here. So now we need to push. Now we need to make no mistakes. A bit of a gap behind there. I think that's Latifi and Hubert having a ding-dong as well. But Aitken, he's still, yeah, definitely wouldn't have given up on this. So we need to push, try and make a bit of a break. Try to avoid the curve that time. Yeah, we're definitely going to give it a bit more room. That is a lap that we needed right then. A 42.0 in this Grand Prix there. We are pushing like crazy at the moment, trying to break away from Jack Aitken behind us there. And yeah, new PB, new fastest lap, everything like that. A couple of bonus points would certainly be useful as well here. And yeah, we are definitely trying to push now. Aitken starting to get a little bit further back. Doesn't quite have the pace, I think, at the moment to really stick with us. Obviously, it's important that we get out of that DRS window, because I think if we can do that, it is hopefully game over for Aitken, unless obviously we make a big, big mistake. But yeah, 7/10 the gap at the moment as we head down the hill once again. The AI so much stronger in the first half of the lap. You know, we make up about 0.3 of a second in the second half, but they obviously just pull it all back out between obviously the start of the lap and pretty much this straightaway. As you can see, running a bit deep there. Aitken's still just behind us. You can see Hubert's dropped all the way down to P5 in this Grand Prix there, so not really what he would have wanted at the moment, but we are still pushing on. On to the final lap we go, though, of this FIA Formula 2 sprint race here, and we've just built up a gap to the guys behind. A 1:41.9. We have got into the zone here. Aitken 3 seconds back. Him and Latifi have really just tripped over each other in the second half of this race here, and that's just given me the golden opportunity to make the breakaway there. Latifi up the inside through the first couple of corners. I wonder if he's finally been able to make that move work there. They're side by side behind, but at the moment we are just focusing on ourselves here because, well, 1 lap to go of this race here. We have done absolutely everything so far that we needed to. We carved our way through the order here, and we are now leading the way with, well, half a lap to go here. Looks like Latifi has finally been able to make that move work on Jack Aitken there. So looking like, well, from fighting for victory to, it looks like he's going to be under pressure to even stay on the podium at the moment there for poor Jack Aitken. But we are doing everything we needed to. Latifi's finally got his move up into P2 there. I wonder if he's actually going to be able to try and get the fastest lap off me on this final lap as well. But in towards the final sector of this race there. And what a race it has been on the whole. Not the best start in the world, but we didn't lose many places. I think we lost any places in the end by the end of lap 1 there. And that was obviously critical in this race. That meant that we had some good pace, we had some good rhythm, and we could really, really try and make a bit of a breakaway in the second half of this race once we carved our way through. And as we head down in towards the final corner of the race, I was hoping we'd be able to at least get a couple of race victories over the course of this F2 season, but I didn't think it would be this soon there. Mick Schumacher comes across the line to win the F2 sprint race there. What a race at the end of the day.
Great effort there from Prema to take the victory today. And Davide Valsecchi, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
Although the Formula 2 car are all the same spec, the winner just looked better out there. It would have been a combination of getting those tires up to running temperature faster and driving to the condition on track. They made it look easy out there today.
As we look back on a thrilling race here today, we can now see the drivers take their places on the podium. It's a familiar sight by now, as it's another successful F2 win for Prema. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Mick Schumacher takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after that excellent result. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
My driver of the day is Mick Schumacher. With this team, Prema Power Team, they made the difference on the race strategy. Fantastic.
On to the teams then. Dam's move to the top of the table. It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll see you when Formula 2 returns.
So there we go then, we even got Davide Valsecchi's driver of the day in the end. But that is it, the end of the FIA Formula 2 weekend here in Bahrain. We pick up the maximum 17 points from the sprint race there. Really, really happy with that. A 5-point margin we've been able to pull out from Nicholas Latifi behind us there. Really couldn't have asked for much more than that at the end of the day there. Latifi though, P2 consistency is definitely looking like a strong point from him so far, and very, very brave to make the moves work in these races there. Jack Aitken in P3 from the pole position there. Clearly pole has not been the luckiest place to be starting this weekend there, with a Giotto up to P4 at the end of the day from P7 on the grid. Anton Hubert from the front row as well there, unfortunately drops down to P5 in the end, but a good solid haul of points for both him and Aitken in the first weekend of the championship. Sete Camera in P6 from 8th, with Delatraz in 7th. Jordan King moves up from P9 there up into P8 to pick up another point in the championship there, ahead of Bolshung in P9 there. Zhu all the way from P3 dropped down to 10th at the end of the day there. Really not a day for him to remember there, but still finishing ahead of my teammate Sean Galeo there. No points on the board from him in this first weekend there, with Alesi in 11th, Raghunathan in P13 now. What a fantastic job that was from him in the end there. Had an Ilott, Calderon, Mazepin, Correa, Boccalacci, Matsushita, and Nick De Vries from P19 on the grid down in P20 at the end of the day. But I'm pretty certain he had car issues there. 13 seconds off anyone else there, and what, 3 seconds a lap off my PB there in the end of the day for him. So really not a day to remember for Nick De Vries there. And ART certainly have got a lot of work to be done as we get ready for the next weekend there. But having a look at the Drivers' World Championship, tied with Sete Camera at the top of the standings there. 1 win apiece, but we got the pole position and the second fastest lap there. The bonus points have really, really come in clutch at the end of the first weekend there. But Sete Camera still on 31 points as well there. De Giotto in P3 there on 26 there. But Latifi in 4th, 24. Delatraz, Jack Aitken, Hubert, Zhu, Jordan King, and Bolshung round out the top 10 there. And only 10 drivers have scored points in the opening weekend there. Ahead of Alesi, Galeo, Matsushita, Ilott, Raghunathan, Calderon, Correa, Mazepin, Boccalacci, and De Vries, all still on no points, nil points at the end of the first weekend there. In terms of the Constructors' World Championship, though, Dams lead the way 55 points after just one weekend there. What a result that is from those guys there. Ahead of Virtuosi, and then we move ourselves up into P3 there, ahead of Carlin there, with Campos, Arden, MP Motorsport and Trident all on the board there, with Charoux and ART both with nil points at the end of the first weekend of the World Championship. But that'll do us then for the opening weekend of the FIA Formula 2 2019 Mick Schumacher career mode there. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the videos. Get yourself subscribed if you're new around here as well and you do want to see more from this series. Next time out, hopefully next weekend, we will be back for week 2 and the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.